There is a reason that flight does not come easily. In Song of Solomon, the one who cannot fly when he first tries. It is not because flight is impossible. It is because flight is not something you force. Flight is inheritance. And inheritance requires listening. We are living in the aftermath of interruption. Language interrupted, memory interrupted, form interrupted. A grammar broken in the middle of a sentence that has never finished being spoken. And yet, something remains in fragments, in echoes, in things that were never meant to survive. There are ways of knowing that they do not live in text. There are ways of remembering that do not live in archives. They live in sound, in rhythm, in repetition, in the body. We listen, but we must be careful here, because hope, when it is deployed inside the same structures that produced our unfreedom, does not liberate. It manages, it contains, it performs repair without requiring transformation. And so we have to ask, what kind of future are we actually imagining? Are we imagining liberation, or are we imagining inclusion in a world that has not changed? This is not despair, this is precision. This is the discipline of refusing. We call a smaller cage a future. We listen, we listen, we listen. So what does it mean to create inside of this condition? What does it mean to make art, to dress, to speak, to build, when the grammar you inherited has been fractured? Every grammar needs an aesthetic. Every future needs a form. The question is not whether you will speak. The question is in whose tongue. What the magical tradition names in the lineage of conjure, of the sacred arts that colonialism tried to discredit. Is that making is not representation. It is not illustration. It is act, it is summons to make art from the fragments of what was taken. Is not recovery, it is conjuring. You are not describing the future, you are calling it. Flight is inheritance, flight is inheritance. So you hold two things at once: grief for what was taken, and vision for what is still possible. And you refuse to release either one, because grief without vision becomes despair, and vision without grief becomes illusion. We listen, we listen, we listen, we listen, we listen. You listen for what was carried when everything else was stripped away. You listen for what survived in spite of interruption. You listen until the fragments begin to form a pattern. You listen until the pattern